My name's Mary Formstone, and I went to Birkenhead Girls Secondary School, from which I was evacuated when I was 14 in 1939. I had a sister who would be 17 in the December, and it was understood that they called it billeting, like they do with soldiers. If they take them to an occupied town, they billet them on people. Same thing with children. We would be together because we were sisters. And we were going to Blaenau Ffestiniog, and we piled onto a train, and in those days it was the old GWR through Bala, Corwin, and they used to go on to Bournemouth. Doesn't exist now. And we eventually arrived at Blaenau Ffestiniog. And then we piled into a little village school. I don't know what the children did. It's still there. And had our own teachers and our own lessons. And then after a fortnight, somebody came to us and said, Mrs. Hughes is having a baby, you'll have to move. So we moved to another Mrs. Hughes. And guess what happened to her? So then they said, you're going to Mrs. Owen, who was the best of the lot. She was old, but she was a real granny figure to us. People used to stop her in the street and say, look out, Mrs. Owen. So Christmas was approaching, and my mother was a matter-of-fact sort of person, very affectionate, but do what's best for the children. And therefore she said, don't come home at Christmas. You'll be all right with Mrs. Owen. But nearly everybody else was going home. So in the end, Mother sent a telegram or a letter and said, come home. We came home, had our usual Christmas. And then I suppose a letter came. The school will not be returning to Wales because an insufficient number of girls wish to go back. So that more or less ended it. When the following spring came and the Germans broke through into France and Holland and Belgium, they were that much nearer to drop their bombs, so we were all destined to spend our nights in the air raid shelter, which was actually somebody's reinforced cellar houses backing onto mine, where the one was bombed opposite and the one was bombed next but one. And I never remember any fear, because I think at that age you tend to think it won't happen to me. And I read in one of those books they published that people were killed in both those houses, but it just never occurred to me it would be us.